Friday morning, I'm in the kitchen again. And it's a beautiful sunny morning. But I'm doing a little bit of recipe development, recipe experimentation. So I'm working with soya chunks, which are going to be blitzed into mince. I have to show you this new chopper that Paul picked up. We had one of these choppers years ago that we got from Lakeland. So I got it out because I'm going to be chopping some onion. But it's got a design flaw. So this bit lifts off. So you have to lift it from here. And I'll tell you why you've got to lift it from there. Because, look, you can't grip it. It's completely smooth. So you have to lift it from sort of down here. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anywho, I'm working on a recipe for soya burgers. Now, I know there are plenty of vegetarians who don't like meat substitutes, but there are plenty of vegetarians who do as well, including us. We love the Linda McCartney burgers and sausages, but they are getting quite expensive. And I thought if I can develop one myself, with the same sort of texture and a good, nice, savoury, umami flavour, then why not? So I'm having a go, and I'm also going to have a look at using chia seeds to make chia egg, which is a sort of binding agent made with chia seeds and water. So I'm going to be looking at those kind of things this morning to hopefully put a recipe together. So there may be a few more snapshots of this session if it goes well. So I'm just sorting out the soya. I'm going to whiz that into a mince because we don't really like the soya chunks. They're a bit spongy and need lots of squeezing out and cooking for a long time. No, I'm going to use it as mince. Easy to do. And I think I've said it before, but pound for pound, soya mince is actually really good value. So, and it provides a complete protein. So, and of course, once you've cooked and flavoured it, it doesn't taste of soya anymore. It tastes of whatever you put into the dish. So I'm going to get on with this now. As I say, I may give you a few more glimpses, but I'm not going to film the whole thing. It's just me messing around in the kitchen, trying to get a good consistency of mix in order to fry the burgers. So, yeah, yes, I am frying them. Yeah. Probably oven bakeable as well, and probably grillable. But I just want to start off with the easiest method first. And one of the agents I'm using for binding is chia egg. So this is chia seeds, which I've lightly crushed using the pestle and mortar. My lovely, lovely pestle and mortar. I love it. So yeah, chia seeds, widely available. They're soaking in water, which should make a sort of gloopy mix. And I'll be adding some of that to the mix, as well as some gram flour, which is chickpea flour. So yeah, this is interesting. So I've got a few more ingredients out. I don't know whether you can see, but that has sort of set into a sort of jelly. So I've got a quarter of an onion chopped in the new chopper. I've got approximately, I don't know, a quarter of a teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, bouillon powder, a teaspoon of yeast flakes. I've got some olive oil, some gram flour, soy sauce, and yeast extract. And I'm working in sort of teaspoons rather than tablespoons because I'm only working with a small amount just to test texture, binding, and then ultimately flavour. So yeah, I'm going to start putting this together. So as you can see, I've ended up with 2 patties. I used a cookie cutter to shape them and press the mixture down. I mean, colour-wise, they look fine. I don't know what they taste like. I've not tasted the mixture yet. I'm actually going to let them sort of dry a little bit or rest a little bit. This is an oiled plate, by the way. I've put oil on this, and I oiled the inside of the cookie cutter as well. So, yeah, I'm interested to see whether I can A, get them off the plate, and B, whether they'll cook. I've got a feeling that it might be better to whiz up the soya to a much finer texture. But I've made a note of all the amounts that I've used as my test. And yeah, wait for them to rest, cover them with a tea towel, and try and cook them a little bit later. So I'm going to time, it is coming up to, I think, 10 to 11. So I think I'm going to leave them for about half an hour. I might even put them in the fridge. So I'm now doing a test to see whether they'll cook and whether they'll hold together. And of course, what they taste like. So we'll see. I'm not too worried about the flavours. I'm more interested to see whether or not I can flip it without it falling apart, whether it gains some stability in the act of cooking, because proteins tend to sort of tighten up. And then, of course, over time, a protein will become very tender if it's slow cooked. So I'm using the same cooking time, around 6 to 8 minutes per side, to see how they do. But yeah, I mean, it will have to be tested again. I'm pretty sure it's not going to hold together very well, but we'll see. Well, I just managed to flip it. Doesn't look as pale as this depicts it, but it's staying together. That's a good sign. So that's the burger fried off. Now it's time to see what it's like. Still quite soft inside. Let's try it, see what it tastes like. Well, here goes. I mean, all the flavourings that I put in there I'm familiar with, so it's nothing new. I think it could be firmer inside. I think it's probably going to need more flavourings, but let's see. I don't want too big a bit because it's very hot. This is only a test, remember. Quite pleasant. Texture-wise, it's fine, but it could be firmer. But the taste is lovely. Really quite nice to eat. Absolutely nothing wrong with that flavour at all. So that's kind of good. Black pepper coming through. Just need to think about how I can bring the centre of it sort of into a firmer state. I'm enjoying it. But it's kind of got the texture of, I don't know, it's a little bit like tuna fish. But not unpleasant at all. Not bad. Quite Moorish. There we are. That's this morning's test. I've got one left. I'll cook that for Paul. I just need to work out how to make it more solid. Hold it together a little bit more. So it might be increasing the amount of chia egg. I think whizzing up the soya maybe to make it a little bit finer. Or should it be chunkier? I don't know. Not sure. I think it's the holding together of it rather than it being finer. So I need to look at the structure and how I can introduce something more protein-wise, I think. So it could be it just needs a bit more flour. But delicious. Pleasant to eat. Good experiment. So Paul's trying my burger experiment. What do you think, Paul?
I think it's really delicious. Softer than Linda McCartney. So you're thinking about that, aren't you?
Yeah, I think a little bit more chickpea flour.
The flavour is absolutely delicious. I love the crusty outside of it. And I'd be very happy to have this in a bap. Well, I'm very happy to just have it like this because I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's your lunch.
It's lovely.
That's your lunch.
Haven't you got another 6 of these to have?
No.
Oh.
This was a test.
Oh.
No, I'm doing smoked tofu.
Lovely.
Good.
I like the onion.
Yeah.
It's got a very different texture than I imagined it would have. It feels more sort of traditional burger-like than the burgers I make. But,
well, yeah, that's what I'm going for. But I think I would remove more of the water.
Yeah.
I think.
Lovely.
And I think I would probably add a little bit more of the chia as well.
Chia seeds.
Yeah, the chia egg that I made.
Did you crush up them?
Partially.
Yeah.
Partially. It went very, very solid.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. I'm going to make lunch now. I'm making a chocolate cake. We're going over to a friend's house tomorrow night. And I thought I would whip together something. I don't have any butter, so I had a look for an olive oil cake. And I found a Nigella recipe. So very quickly I've got flour with a pinch of salt, olive oil, cocoa mixed with water and a little bit of vanilla extract, castor sugar and eggs. I think that's it. I don't know how much it's going to make, so I've put a couple of baking doodahs out. What are they called? Baking trays? They're silicone. They're great, IKEA. And I'm going to have to combine all of this now and whisk it up. I believe that it's sugar, oil and eggs to start, and then cocoa mix and then flour at the end. So let me get on with that and show you the mixture before I put it into bake. So that's the olive oil, eggs and sugar, which apparently should be a pale primrose. Well, I think that's a primrose. Now I've got to add the cocoa. Well, that's the chocolate beaten in, well, the cocoa. So now it's the flour. I hope this is going to work. So that's the flour in. It's not very thick, although it's a little bit like that chocolate brownie cake I made. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get it into the oven. I better do some parchment for these, just in case it sticks. There we are, all ready to go in. Say goodbye. So it's going to take 40 minutes and it's on 150 degrees centigrade. I tell you, it's been a busy day. A busy day. I've got a cake in there now. A chocolate cake made with olive oil. Yeah, it's a Nigella. I was going to do a date cake with this box of dates that Paul bought the other week. Well, I started opening them to pit them. And I thought, what's that? What's that little clutch of little egg-like things in the date? Insect eggs in dates? I looked it up. I googled it. No. No, it's not going to be a date cake. Paul's going to come in. I'm going to say to him, you can effing well get rid of that box of dates because I'm not eating any of them. I'm not using them for anything. As far as I'm concerned, they need to go in the bin before those eggs hatch. So yeah. Disgusting. Dates. I'm never eating a date again. And they're out of the oven, looking very well cooked. Look a bit like a brownie. I'll let you know how they taste. Morning. Saturday morning. It's another beautiful day. Certainly not as cold last night. No condensation, thank goodness. And we were talking on the live show last night about the washing machine and how there was a smell of rubber. Well, I've just done a wash and it's fine. There's no smell. And it was spinning fine. So I think maybe the first load that I put in was slightly unbalanced, maybe. This load that I've just put in was t-shirts and 3 pairs of jeans. So, and it was fine. So, I don't know. I also selected a slightly lower spin, 1200 rather than 14. Because I found 1200 in my friend's machine. That's the maximum hers goes up to, and it was fine. So why not select a lower spin speed? It's just bleeping. That means it's finished, so I need to take that upstairs. Paul's in the kitchen. What are you cooking, Paul?
Food.
Well, I know that. Paul's got the Instant Pot out. Look at that sunshine. How lovely.
Yeah.
What are you making, Paul? Let's see.
I'm actually making a minestrone base. So I'm just going to cook the vegetables for like 4 minutes in here, and then I'm going to add other things in afterwards.
Lovely. So quick look at the new machine there. There it is. I'm so glad I was so anxious about it maybe making a smell again and worrying that there was something wrong with it. And it feels as though that sort of anxiety keeps bubbling up whenever something doesn't go according to plan. I think I have a slight issue with anxiety since all that stuff at work. Sorry?
If you think that, you should read my latest blog, which is called Decades of Difference, and how things that used to not make us anxious now do.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I think it's not something that is it's doable, you know, but it's not for wanting an easy life, because we all know that life is not easy in many, many ways. But I think there's background anxieties at the moment in general, and I just don't want to have to deal with silly things like, you know, the risk of the washing machine malfunctioning and all of that. So I think since leaving work, there's been sort of things that have happened that have been annoying and anxiety inducing in a sort of series. And I think I'm still moving through that, you know, which is, you know, it's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to put this wash out at the top of the house so it can catch some of the warmth. And then we're going to film Sunday Chat. We've just written the notes. And yeah, I'm going to get on with my day. So thanks again for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you for Sunday Chat. Bye for now.